I got rooked into this. It's kind of sad, really. It's all good, though. I love it. I love cooking. How are you guys? Hi. All right. So if you have the stuff... Good morning, guys. All right, make sure you turn your mics off for me, all right, guys? You're awesome. Thank you. All right. So if you have the stuff, you can follow along with me. If you don't, not a problem. You can make it later. Not a big deal. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing the ham and cheese sliders. All right. So I kind of cheated a little bit. I cut mine in half earlier because I'm not that good, and I kind of, you know, it took me a minute. But to show you, I'll show you these. This is what we're using. It's the Hawaiian King's rolls. You can use regular bread. You can use regular rolls. Whatever you like. Good job. Very cool. All right. I will show you I did cut mine. See, here's mine. So mine are cut. Be very careful, guys, all right, because you have to use a pretty good knife. Here's what I used. I used a bread knife. So be very careful, guys. I don't want anybody to get hurt. That's the last thing Miss Blackmon wants and I want. All right. So, let me grab it again. Hold on. So I'm going to set it beside me here. I got to follow my directions because I don't know what I'm doing, actually. All right. So once you have them cut in half, I've got my ham. You can use ham. You can use turkey. Don't put the knife on your nose. Good grief. Very cool. Yeah. Whatever you like. You can use ham. You can use turkey. You can use whatever you like, right? It does not have to be ham, okay? So you're going to put the ham. Let's do it differently. Yeah, we're just going to lay it on there. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you in just a second. Let me get some of my ham on here real quick. I'm just putting the ham on my rolls after I've cut them in half. Take the bottom half and put your ham on the bottom half. I set my top half to the side for a moment. And see here. You can put as much or as little as you like. It's all what you like. There's not a specific amount that you have to put on it, all right, guys?
Excuse me, how many buns do we need? Can we just choose 3?
If you want to do 3, that's fine. Gotta make what you need, all right? Let's say, like Miss Blackmon told you last week, we have 6 people living here, so I'm gonna do a little bit extra because this will be lunch for us. But you do what you need, all right? There's no, like I say, there's no set amount. You do what you need, all right? So 3 is perfect.
When you take it out, do you put it in a bowl?
So here's what mine, I just put, because what you're gonna have to have some kind of a pan because you're gonna bake them in the oven, okay? So like a cookie sheet or some kind of a pan you can bake in the oven, all right, guys? All right. All right. Perfect. Yes, that works. Perfect. That's a perfect pan. All right. We got, if you can see, we got Swiss cheese. Again, if you don't like Swiss cheese, you can use cheddar. You can use, that's good. Yep. Mozzarella's good. Whatever kind of cheese you like, guys, all right? You don't have to follow this recipe like that. I mean, you can do mozzarella, Swiss, cheddar, whatever kind of cheese you like, all right, guys?
So we just put the ham on top of the bread.
I see if I can do this without tipping it over too much. So mine, I just put, if you can see, there we go. I just laid them out on top of my buns there, on top of the bread. All right. And then, got my cheese. I'm just gonna lay a slice of cheese on top of the ham. In a sec, I'll work on that here. So basically, you're just kind of, you're basically making a ham and cheese sandwich, half of it at least. All right, guys. Let's see, get my cheese on. All right. Again, you can do whatever kind of cheese you like and whatever kind of meat you like. I'm dropping cheese on the computer. All right. And, all right. Got mine. All right. Again, I'll see if I can show you. Got my ham, you can tell I'm not. I've got my ham and my cheese in my pan. Ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm gonna set him to the side a second. All right. All right, so now, once you got that, you're gonna set it to the side. The light's right in that camera there. And next we're gonna start using we're gonna start making together the, if you wanna call it, I guess, dressing. I don't know what you wanna call it. So we're gonna get a bowl. Got my bowl. And we're just gonna start adding everything too as we go down the recipe. I don't have the poppy seeds. Yeah, we do. We have sesame seeds. We don't have poppy seeds, which, again, You don't have to have them if you don't like them. If you do have them, awesome. All right, so first I've got 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And is this mine? All right, so I've got my little measuring spoon. Sometimes you might, I've got one that's actually 1.5. You might have, it's a 1 tablespoon. So you just have to do 1 and just kind of fill it halfway. And I'll show you here. So we got, it's a Dijon mustard. Again, if you use regular mustard, you can, I mean, I don't know if you can use like mayonnaise. I don't know how that would do, but you can use regular mustard, Dijon mustard, whatever you'd like.
So, can we put it like in a measuring cup or like
Well,
this one, a measuring cup?
Well, so I use this little measuring spoon and I put it in a bowl because you're going to add other stuff to it, okay? So you're going to use like, I use like, if you have a cup or a spoon, whatever you have,
Okay.
either one, just so you can measure 1.5 tablespoons. All right. I'll give everybody a second for that while I get my next thing. All right. I have to melt my butter into 1/2 cup of butter, and you have to have it melted. I forgot to do that earlier, so I'm doing that right now. So we'll skip that. We'll come back to him. Next thing, I need 1 tablespoon of onion powder. All right, guys, so I have onion powder. Yummy. All right, guys, I gotta figure out how to get a tablespoon.
I'm just gonna sprinkle it in.
I'm just gonna sprinkle it. There you go. Again, I have my little spoon here. It tells me it's 1 tablespoon. So let's just kind of. I'm gonna have a little extra because I'm missing some, but that's okay.
That's good.
All right,
good.
guys. All right, I have my, as you can see it, my tablespoon of onion powder.
Pour it in the bowl with the mustard.
Yes, ma'am. You put that. You mix that with the mustard. Put it in with the mustard for now. We got a couple other things we're going to add to it, so just pour it in for now. All right. All right. Next on my list, I have 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. It's fun to say. Looks like this. We have this kind. If you have a different kind, that's fine. And again, I have my little 1/2 teaspoon. Not a lot, but that's okay.
Do we melt the butter in the microwave?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, if you can, yes. So yeah, you're gonna melt. You need 1/2 cup. So yes, you're gonna melt it in the microwave because it has to be melted because this has to mix all together, make kind of like a sauce, sort of.
Then when you put like the mustard and the pepper, you have to put what?
What's that?
The
The mustard. Onion sauce.
So you go mustard, and then your mustard, then your onion powder. Okay.
Excuse me? And how many seconds do we put it in the microwave?
Just till it's melted. I did a minute. I'm not sure if that's long enough, but you're just gonna want it melted. Okay. You don't want it like bubbling, but just melted.
That the mustard
All right. So I have my butter. I did a minute in the microwave on my stick of butter. Mine was a little frozen, a little harder. It was very cold. So I did a minute. So that probably should be fine for it. So I've got my melted butter. So I'm going to add that to my mustard, onion powder, Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to add that to that. All right. We're getting there, guys.
and then after the butter is melted, you just put it in the bowl with the onion powder and mustard.
Yes, ma'am. Just pour it in there with it. Yep. All right. Let's see. I think we're good. Got my mustard, my butter, my onion powder, my Worcestershire sauce. All right. I've got that all together in my bowl, and I'm going to use a whisk. You can use a spoon if you don't have a whisk. All right. And you're just going to mix this all together. Okay. You're just going to take your whisk and you're just going to mix it. It's going to make, like I say, kind of like a, I'm going to call it a sauce or a dress. I don't know how you want to describe it. It's going to be kind of liquidy, kind of runny. Okay, you're just mixing it all together. right.
When it's finished, how is it supposed to look?
I can't really tip my bowl and show you, unfortunately. It's just kind of all mixed together. I mean, you're just kind of stirring it all together. Because like I say, you make sure your butter's melted. Got your mustard in there, your onion powder, your Worcestershire sauce. If you have the poppy seeds, you can use them. If you don't, that's not a problem. All right, guys. All right, so I've got mine mixed up. I don't know if you can kind of see it in the bowl. It's kind of liquidy, it's not too thick, but it's not like water. All right. All right. Excuse me. All right, guys.
Do you put on this one next?
Which one? Yes, you're going to add that in. That's a half of a teaspoon. Just a very little bitty bit, just enough for a little bit of flavor. It's half of a teaspoon of that, of the Worcestershire sauce, all right? All right. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to get my pan again. I've got my ham and my cheese on my bottom half of my bread. Okay. And next, it's going to fall apart on me. I'm going to take, this is the top half of my Hawaiian rolls. Okay, I cut them in half. This is the top half. Okay. You're going to put that on top. Oh, not missing. You're going to put that on top of the ham and the cheese. So now you have basically just a little sandwich basically already. Okay. Give everybody a couple of seconds. Everybody's still kind of mixing a little bit here. Looks like you're doing good, guys. You're doing awesome. All right. How are we doing? Oh, we're counting time. All right. Once I have the tops back to my rolls, I've got it all together, kind of like little mini sandwiches. I've got in my pan here. I'm going to take my mixture, my dressing, whatever you want to call them. And you're going to pour this over your rolls, okay? Kind of make sure you kind of spread it out evenly. You don't just pour it all right in the middle and hope it spreads, okay? Kind of pour it evenly over the entire pan, okay? I don't know if I can hold it and do this. So I'm just going to kind of make sure I kind of dribble a little on everybody all the way around. You want to try and make sure all the rolls get some on it. All right. Kind of turn and show you. Kind of hard here. Okay. So now.
Knife and spread. Get a knife and spread. Oh, you got that.
So you can use a knife. I have this. It's a little like a little brush used like for butter and such. If you don't have something like that, you can use a knife or maybe like the backside of a spoon. And just kind of make sure every roll has, and it has to be like completely covered, but you want it to have some on it. Flick it across the room. All right, you want to make sure all the rolls have some on it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be completely covered. But because we're going to bake this in the oven here in just a few minutes, you want to make sure it kind of gets in to make a little bit of flavor to it. All right. How everybody's doing. All right. Everybody doing good so far? Awesome. Very cool. All right, guys. All right. So if you can tell again, I got mine. It's kind of hard to see, I know, with the light behind me. So I've got mine. I poured mine over. I used my little brush. I spread it around. Say again, you can use a knife, the backside of a spoon. You just want to make sure it kind of has it coated. Just like, kind of spread around everywhere. All right. All right. Once you're done with that, in your pan here, you're going to take it and you're going to cover it with aluminum foil. All right. So we're going to take our foil. Maybe got one next to me. All right. All right, I'll take my foil. I'm going to cover the pan with foil. That doesn't have to be like very tight. It doesn't have to be, all. You're just going to cover it with your foil.
Can you go back into the sauce?
What's that?
Can you go back into the sauce?
What do you mean? What about the sauce?
This.
Yeah, if you want to, you can add, if you have the poppy seeds, put 1 tablespoon. So I didn't have them, but if you have them, if you want to add them, add 1 tablespoon of the poppy seeds to it. Yep. Good job.
You pour into the sauce where the melted butter is?
Yep, with the butter, the mustard, the onion powder, the Worcestershire sauce. You add all that together, the poppy, and you kind of whisk it together, mix it together. Excuse me. And once you got it good and mixed, then you're going to put the tops of your rolls back together. You're going to put your rolls back together with the ham and cheese in it, or turkey and cheese, or whatever you have. And then you're going to pour that over the top of it. I say try and kind of spread it out as evenly as you can. I say if you have to use a knife or the back of a spoon, or if you have a brush, you can use that, whatever you need. But you're going to make sure you kind of spread it around as best you can over all the rolls, okay? All right, so once you've got all that mixed together, you've got it poured over the top of your rolls, you're gonna cover it with aluminum foil, and
Do I just put the cheese on top?
yeah, well, you're gonna have, the cheese is gonna be on top of the ham or turkey or whatever you're using inside the rolls. Basically, you're making a sandwich. Sorry guys, got the computer thing going on here, we're good. Basically, you made a sandwich and put the top on.